So, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and hated what you saw?
Every
Now,
single
imagine
day.
if the reflection hated you back. This is the movie Mirrors, released in 2018, starring Keith and Sutherland. We're going to talk about that today. But before we get started, this is Midnight Mayhem. I'm going to be your host today, Raymond. And with me, as always, are my two co hosts.
I'm Bobby and I love horror.
And I'm Leo, and I love movies.
And I'm Raymond, the other guy. So, I kind of picked this movie out on a whim because I remember the trailer vaguely. And we just watched it.
How come we all remember like a part of this movie as a kid? Like it was a big part of our childhood for some reason.
Yeah, like I don't know. This was like oh, this is gonna be a scary movie
Yeah.
when you were like little. It's not.
It's
At all.
It's not.
It's 2 hours longer than it should be, and the runtime is about a minute 57. So, but yeah, basically, long story short, there is some kind of creature or demon that resides in the mirrors that is slowly hunting down people who come into contact with it. That's the premise. Watch it if you want. I don't really care at this point.
If you want to watch a B-rated horror film, that's not that fun.
If you want to watch it, because this just felt like a late 2000s movie. It had the camera work, had the atmosphere,
It did.
had the bad CGI,
Oh.
and had the actors that were like decently popular at the time.
At the time, yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about any of the story beats, or you want to just get into what we liked, what we didn't like? This might be a very short episode. Like I said, I kind of picked this movie on a whim, thinking it might be interesting.
Ratings?
The story beats
Or
are all
later?
over the place. So
We can do the
it's
ratings
like,
if you want. You want to go first?
Sue first, yeah. Let's go.
4.
4?
4.
That sounds about
That's a
good.
little high. No, yeah, I'd give it about a 4. I felt like the story was overly
Yeah.
convoluted. The thing I will give it credit for is the movie just kind of starts.
Yeah, it starts off strong.
Like he's just like, it starts off with a what do you call him? A cold open.
cold open.
So it
Mhm.
starts off with a cold open of a security guard running from something. You basically find out he's running from the mirrors, the reflections, and you see his reflection look him back, pick up a shard of glass, and slit its own throat, killing
Some
the
great effects, by the way.
for that part. Yes,
that
very
was
good.
that. That was like one of the best effects.
Yeah.
Second to only the most iconic kill of the movie.
The money shot of the movie. actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you guys ever afraid of that as a kid? Because I was. I know it was
Yeah.
probably from this trailer.
It was from this trailer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, afraid of what?
Like let's say you're brushing your teeth and you go down and spit, and your reflection's looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I think it was from this trailer, but I'm not sure. I feel like it was something very similar, or it was this exact movie.
No, it was this exact movie. I remember when the trailers were coming out, I was like, "Oh, this looks scary. I need to see this,"
Yeah.
you know. And I think I was 14 at the time, so I wasn't old enough to like even go to this movie.
Yeah.
Me and a couple friends tried to sneak into this movie, but we got caught, and so we got kicked out. But
So you had a history of getting kicked out before you made me get kicked out of a movie.
that's a story for another time. Did you
Alright,
hear about
fine.
that story?
No, but I can. Oh, hear that story? Yes. The one you're talking about now. I have a similar story, but not getting kicked out.
Okay.
I went to go see this in 8th grade, so I was 14 as well. This is
Snuck
right around the
into it
time.
too?
Right around the time I started getting into horror,
Mhm.
and then I didn't sneak into it. We bought tickets. I don't know how we bought tickets. I don't remember because we went with a group of people.
They just didn't care. They're like,
Maybe, but we went with like 5 or 6 people,
yeah.
and I was there because someone I wanted to talk to was there.
Of course.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah. And
nice.
one of my childhood friends, my oldest friend, was with me, and he was like, "I don't like horror. I don't want to watch this movie. Let's go into Eagle Eye." And I was like,
The
I
one-
like
Is that
horror.
the one with?
"I want to
Shia
be
LaBeouf?
here.
Probably.
I want a reason to talk to so and so."
Like,
And
oh, if
he's
you guys
like-
are gonna go there, I guess we could just sit here and watch this movie.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Yeah.
he was like, "But I don't want to watch this. I want to watch that now." And I was like,
Is this friend
It's
someone I've met?
"Yeah, you know,
I think
who,
I know.
you know
I think I
exactly
know
who it is."
this is.
Is this friend we just recently talked about like an hour ago?
I don't know.
No.
Maybe not. No.
Is this friend in my contacts? Can I call him?
Let's call him right now. Ask him about the
No,
story.
but it just is. He was insisting on like, "Oh, this is garbage. Let's just go." And I was like, "Hey,
He's like, let's go, but
I-
all of us will leave. It's like,
no, just me and him." So I was like, like I kind of wanted to stay for alter,
Reasons?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Nah." I
like,
was
don't get me wrong, I love 24, but I'm here to watch. I'm watching this movie for another reason.
And then he was like, "Let's." I was like, "Yeah, I'm a good friend, so I'll go." So we went, and that was that. And that was I watched up to that part that I said I watched up to.
Yeah, the
Like right before
the
they
shootout with the mirror.
right before
The
they
second time.
right before they figure out what is in the mirrors.
Oh, so you saw part of it in the theater?
I saw all of it, most of it,
Oh,
until
okay.
remember I was like, oh, he's about to.
Yeah.
This part's crazy. And he shoots the mirror, that part, and then I left and I went to go see Eagle
mean,
Eye. I snuck into Eagle Eye.
To be
I'm pretty
fair, in defense of
You mean you
your
paid full
friend,
price?
sure. Yeah, I paid full price.
Yeah, we respect our movie theaters here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I respect
14-year-old
you
me.
now.
Now that you know what it's like to work in a film.
Yeah, the entire time I was watching this movie, I
I
just
know,
kept
huh?
remembering that memory of,
Yeah.
of so and so being like, "Hey, let's go," and I was
Hey,
like,
oh,
I know,
let's go."
I know the CGI fire is terrible. I do,
Oh God.
but
wait, that wasn't real.
That
Nah,
was-
it's obviously really bad CGI fire. It's
It's pretty
2008.
bad.
some of the
yeah.
scenes are so rough that like 14-year-old me first intro horror was like, that looks terrible.
2008
Yeah.
movie CGI is like 2012 YouTube CGI.
It was really bad. It's
But-
like that CGI effect that it used to be on iPhones. Remember the first iPhones that came out? They had like that one app that you could just add like effects in the background. Just don't go in front
Oh,
of them.
just don't go in front of
Just
them.
don't go in front of them. Just
Yeah,
stay.
it looked like that. It did look like that.
Yeah. So
Funnily enough, this film was shot on an iPhone.
it wasn't.
No,
It came out around the same time as the first iPhone, though.
2008.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
interesting.
so. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Unsane was shot on an iPhone. I have that back there. Hopefully we'll watch
Mhm.
it someday. So that's my story with it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your rating 4.
Four.
Four.
I think is
Okay,
reasonable.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. Like I said, the what I will give it credit for is it did start off fairly strong, and then it just kind of fizzled toward the middle, and then it completely died toward the end.
It didn't need to be an hour and 51 minutes.
It
did
did-
not need to
definitely
be.
the
It did-
runtime definitely hurts the film
Yes,
because
and
I feel like a lot of the middle was just fluff.
the story wasn't strong. The special effects weren't strong, aside from like two main effects that were like the coolest, and then the runtime was too long. So all of those
yeah.
together, you get your issues.
I honestly thought that it was gonna end when he just started shooting at the mirror.
When you start shooting at the mirror.
Shooting at the mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a
That's-
bunch
oh,
of
yeah.
when he went nuts. Like,
Yeah, that's when I thought the movie was gonna end.
30 minutes in.
They're-
Well,
yeah.
it's just a short movie. There was a decent
that was like an hour.
amount of characters in the film, and there was only one character in the film. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're following
Yeah.
one
So-
person the entire time.
So the main character, played by Keith Sutherland, his name is Ben Carson.
Mhm.
We're following him throughout the film. He's basically like a disgraced cop. He ended up killing somebody in the line of duty as a police detective. Succumbed to alcoholism, and now he's trying to get back on his feet and get back with his wife, his hot wife, and his kids. And he's trying to put her up there.
yeah.
Find a red carpet shot. I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. But you don't really get to know his kids. You don't really get to know his wife. You don't really get to know the cops he's working with. You don't get to know his other, what are they called? Night security guards?
Yeah, his other
And
comrade.
the movie's 2 hours long, and you don't get to meet any other characters really.
You're just
Nope.
experiencing like everything he's experiencing, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like you're just going through the motions with him.
It's
Like
kind of funny.
the other characters in the film don't seem to exist unless he's in the frame with them.
The only character that I feel like had a somewhat bigger role in the movie was his son, but like barely.
Barely.
Mike, was it Michael?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was Michael.
Yeah.
He had kind of fell under a lot of the same tropes as like the possessed child trope,
yeah.
or like like they're here, mommy, that kind of trope. But
Yeah.
the payoff wasn't there, the buildup wasn't there, and
It's like the stupidity was all there because it was just like that stupid kid's like, mommy, they just want to play with us. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna hurt
It's just
us.
The character. The character in the
I
movie,
have the
yeah.
knife. Gave me the knife.
Yeah, he
but
gave me the knife.
He told me he wasn't gonna hurt us. Like it's fine. It's like come on.
He taught me
like-
this cool trick where you just get the knife and you
I
put
blame
it
the
in,
parents for not teaching this kid common sense. Honestly.
Like maybe they weren't fighting over killing a person on the line of
Yeah,
duty.
I
Maybe
don't
they'd
know.
have time to raise their kids.
No.
What was it? That was I can't remember specifics right now. Go for it.
I give it a 4.5. That 0.5 is mainly just because there are some cool shots in the movie, like some cool effects.
There were some scenes, and I was like, I'm going to see a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's you see the scene in a frame, and then it pans over to reveal the same shot, but from
From the mirror,
from the
exactly.
regular perspective.
Yeah, those are
And I thought-
those shots are like really uneasy. Like it's like oh, cool, like it's a shot.
Well, you don't really know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
to
You
be
don't,
fair.
you don't know
you
where
what's
you're.
the reflection,
yeah.
which one's real.
Exactly. So that's kind of like.
I do enjoy
cool-
that. I felt like they use it a little too much.
I mean, it's a movie about mirrors. Of course, they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
you know.
Also, the opening
like-
credits is just basically like a kaleidoscope of New York City.
We
and
were
it just
just-
immediately
Yeah, and
made
it's
me think
just-
of Spider-Man.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah.
making Marvel
Spider-Man
jokes the whole
versus
time.
Doctor
Strange.
Yeah.
Like that's cool too, and it's like they do have some cool mirror shots. The set design of that first building, was it? That one's cool.
Yeah.
Like where the asylum was, or what is the hospital or something
It
like
used
that.
to be a hotel, I believe, right? Is that what they said?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole set design of that looks cool. It looks gritty, it looks dirty, it looks very 2000s,
Yeah.
grungy, you know?
Like the opening scene that we mentioned earlier with the security guard,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a Saw movie.
Yeah, like
It
it
had
has
that green
yeah,
grain
yeah,
feel to it.
like
Everything
I
was,
miss that
dirty.
in movies, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it makes you feel dirty and
It gave you that
crummy.
early 2000s grunge.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like I like that, and it's just too bad because from the beginning of the movie I was like, oh, I remember the beginning, but I don't remember it like this, you know. So I
Yeah.
was like, I was into it, but as the movie went on, I was like,
And then that practical effect shot was pretty sick.
the practical effect shot was
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
The-
that
This
was
the-
cool.
movie, this movie is nearly 16 years old, or about 16 years old.
Mhm.
Do you think this would be good as a remake if they were trying to make this movie now?
I feel like movies have already done it well enough.
Cut
we
it,
don't need
cut
to.
it by 40 minutes,
But
or just keep it at 90 minutes.
they're gonna have to rework the entire thing though.
Nah,
because-
That's fine. There was
Yeah.
hardly
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
story in this.
yeah,
there was
you're
nothing.
right.
Yeah.
Like there was interesting character dynamics that were never really fleshed out. It
Like,
was like
what?
like
for
the
example?
the parent, like the wife, and
Yeah.
and, like it was like, oh, like you see his marriage falling apart, but he was already super overly aggressive from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like you could have just made this character more likable
yeah.
because you're supposed to want to root for him.
That's one thing. He didn't seem like a likable character at all.
No, he wasn't.
It's like when his wife calls him, it's like they got our kid, they got him. He's like, oh, I'll be on my way. Shit, he just
Damn it.
yeah, damn it, and they just kind of like.
I leave her in charge of the kids one time.
He didn't say
That's-
that, but like
but
he
that's how it
kinda,
That's how it
felt.
his
felt.
Yeah.
responses were kind of like.
It was never not aggressive. Like,
yeah,
but also
not like worried, but more like
Angry
Like
that-
angry, yeah, exactly.
It's like now I got to deal with this. You know?
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so
Also, the monster's abilities were super
Yeah,
all over the place.
okay.
Oh my
so,
god, yeah.
real quick, let me see how much time we have.
We got like
If we can
Yeah,
fit
so-
it in, yeah,
so
we can
real
fit it in
quick,
one episode. It's fine.
One of the best shots of the movie, one of the scenes that I believe was shown in the trailer, because that's the only thing I remember from it, is a blonde woman. That's going to be the main character's sister. And she's like getting ready for a bath.
funny.
She's getting ready for a bath, and then she leaves. Her reflection's like, nah, I'm going to stay here for a second.
Yeah.
Then the woman goes in the bath, and then the reflection starts ripping her jaw out.
She
And I'm sure you
starts-
can find
yeah.
a clip for that, so you could probably see it on the screen right now.
Yeah, okay.
That was like the
Not
best,
like we get paid for it
the best
anyways.
kill
Uh-huh.
of the entire movie.
Yeah.
And it set up like a terrifying precedence for the movie because it's like, oh, this thing can kill you
This is the
by
opening.
killing itself,
right.
by killing itself in the reflection, right?
Uh-huh.
Never utilized again.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, later on in the movie it's like, oh, the reflection has to be in front of you to kill you, you
No,
know?
it's not.
No,
It's
because they already
lit-
showed in the bathroom that you don't have to.
I know, but it's like that's the only shot that it showed that. All the other ones they were just all
yeah,
like
but that scene
uh-huh.
basically made that a rule that you don't have to be in front of the mirror for it to kill you.
Yeah, and they never utilized that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
And then
after
suddenly
after the
it's using
first
knives
Yeah.
and water.
after the first kill, it was
Yeah.
like it had kitty gloves on for the kids.
Yeah.
Like that's what it felt like.
Mhm.
And I was like he tried like demon. I guess the mirror demon is that what we're gonna call
I'm gonna
it?
call it a
Sure,
mirror
yeah,
demon.
Mirror Demon.
Tries to drown the
Why do you
wife.
say demon backwards?
I don't know.
No.
Nimond. Simon.
The,
It doesn't matter.
what was it? They tried like instead of just
No Baba.
that's the
No
thing
baba.
is that like it was such a sudden death. The sister.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like ruthless.
She's
sudden.
like, hey, I'm your sister. Like, she literally says, it's bad writing. She's like, hey, I'm your little sister, and I'm here for you. Because when we first see her in the film, we were like, oh, is that his girlfriend? Is that his
Yeah.
new wife? And then she's like, I'm your sister. She kissed him
Were
on
they
the forehead.
sleeping on the same bed too?
Probably.
No.
No.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I have no idea.
It's not that weird, but it is weird. Like,
They
he
made
just-
it seem like they're together in the beginning. I'm like, oh, that's his girlfriend. Like I
Yeah,
automatically
there's
thought
a-
I was like, yeah, they're
There's
together.
a framed picture of them like kissing each other.
Like
Like he's kissing her on the cheek,
yeah.
right? But it's like, that's cute. That'd be a cute photo,
Yeah.
right? If you're a couple.
They don't explain their siblings until like almost like at the middle of the movie.
Like,
That's
the first
20-ish
scene.
minutes.
Yeah.
There's a second scene where she's working at a bar, and he's like, "Oh, it's mirrors," and then she dies in her third scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes to like his ex-wife and tries to get back with him. I thought it was like there was like a love triangle thing
Yeah.
going on.
But like,
And you could tell based on that first interaction that he had when he's like trying to get back with his wife, he's not there for the kids. He's definitely there for her.
no.
Once
Yeah.
again, put a picture of her back on the screen.
the final fight was also just super out of nowhere. Like, it was like a nun he brought back to be repossessed.
He kidnapped her.
He kidnapped her, and she's like, "No, I'm willing."
He's like,
to go.
hey, I need your help to save my family. She's like, that sucks, but I'm not gonna do that because it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Because if the demon possesses me, then it's out in the real world instead of the mirror world. And he brought up a good point. He's like, hey, it's already killing people, like a lot of people, because it's in the mirrors. And she's like, oh, that like it sucks. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna help you. And he's like, I have one really good reason for you. He takes out a picture of his family. He's like, this is my family. I need your help to save them. And she goes, I'm not gonna do it. And he goes, I have another reason. So, I have another good reason. So he straight up kidnaps a nun and brings her to the place. And she's like, oh, like I'm doing this for your family. And he's like, that's not what you said earlier.
So
Let's
then-
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So she explodes, and it turns into
was
like
funny as
yeah.
shit.
actually
dude.
explodes. Like
That was a
like,
cool scene.
The mirrors explode. The top roof explodes. She
She
explodes.
explodes,
It's
yeah.
like, what is happening right now?
And then
it's like a Michael Bay movie for like that. 5
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly.
then
Yeah.
she's a
It
demon.
was a cool scene. I'm not gonna lie.
which was sick, but it's also like they used a smear effect, like a fighting game
Yeah.
smear
Yeah.
effect.
And then they had the demon face was like the one that always showed up in like early
Look,
decade media.
yeah, it's like because if you the one that I remember the most, there's a scene in the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose where she's like in the streets and like I don't know if you've seen that movie, but
Yeah, I've seen
she
it.
looks at the people in the cab and they just go like, "Rah," you know,
Yeah, I
like that.
remember.
Yeah, like it
I
has.
always think of this. If you've ever seen The Amazing World of Flapjack or The Marvelous Mr.
Oh
Flapjack.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah,
that's the face that they
exactly.
use in a lot of
Yeah, it's exactly
in a lot of those era
early
movies.
early 2000 movies and as a kid that terrified us, but it's like as adults
It's almost like oh like
and since adults review this movie, I mean it makes sense why it has a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes or 15%
I
around
was like
there.
13. That's kind of high.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the movie was too long. It's an okay premise,
Yeah.
and I just felt like if they stuck to a rule of what the
Yeah.
monster could or could not do, I think the movie would have been a lot better.
And I would have
Like
liked
I
it a
said,
lot
you don't have
more.
to explain it, but you have to follow a set of rules.
Yeah, and I would have liked it a lot more if they would have had like more lore to it. Like, I knew the movie
I'm
wasn't
sure
gonna
there
be
was
good.
lore.
It-
We're 30. We're tired.
No, well the thing is,
We were up until 4 in the morning, each of us,
The-
doing equally important things.
the-
I'm not going to get into details.
the only lore,
But,
the only lore in
um,
the movie is just technically like, there's just a demon in the mirrors. That is it.
No, it was like she was possessed by a demon, and they go, "Oh,
Mhm.
she's probably schizophrenic. Let's get her to the hospital."
She's possessed by the
They
demon.
take her to the
yeah.
hospital, and they just put it in mirrors. They leave her in the mirror room for like 3 days at a time.
Yeah,
The
but
demon's like, "Screw this, I'm out," and it leaves into the mirrors.
yeah, but I thought I was like, oh, there's a mirror world here and there, you know, like so. Okay, so that's one thing too. Okay, so what's in the mirrors? Because spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, you find out that the main character ends up in the mirror world. His
Oh, yeah, that
soul,
was so
his soul
stupid.
is trapped in the mirror world. Okay, so this is a parallel world that exists in
Yeah.
that world, right? Here's another thing, quick before we end. Who gets to die in the movie? You know what I mean? Like who gets chosen to die? Do you understand what I mean? Kind of
Anyone? Yeah, that is confusing. I
'Cause
think
there's
anyone who
reflections
spends the night.
everywhere,
Anyone who spends the night at the hotel.
but the family didn't.
The family didn't.
Yeah,
but
but it
because
kills the
they're
family.
related to the main character.
Everyone.
They're.
But what
affected
about
by
what
that.
about I know, but what about the family of the little girl who was infected too? That's what I was thinking. I was like, they were the family of the main cause of this, and nothing bad happened to them.
No, they just-
Things started happening, but it's like nothing bad happened to them. So it's like,
Are you talking about before, like while she was possessed?
yeah, it's
They
like I
threw
don't
her into
know,
a
like,
basement, and then they put her into an asylum, basically.
Yeah,
So,
I
and then the
guess.
demon got out of her. She came back and was like, "I'm cured."
and they're like,
And then-
okay, we.
and then-
you can go over here now.
No, they sent her like to a place where no mirrors exist, and then it's just like, what?
And in
missionary?
the
Like,
movie,
yeah.
there aren't that many
So
deaths either,
stupid.
huh? There's like,
two, three.
There's the
if you
opening
count the
death.
old lady.
there's 3, huh?
If you count the old lady, three.
The opening death, it's a sister, and then it's the
The old lady.
old lady, and then if you want to count
The
Ben,
ending.
you can count Ben.
There's 4 deaths if you want to count one.
Yeah,
Damn,
Yeah.
that's disappointing.
it's not a great film. Is it worth watching? No.
Probably not.
Watch this episode instead.
Maybe for a good laugh here and there.
Not
but
even a good
even
laugh.
at that.
No,
Like,
yeah, it's like I would watch it as an intro level horror. To
We
be
were
like, this
laughing while watching the movie, but that's just because you kept getting stabbed. It had nothing to do with the film itself.
Yeah.
Highlights of the movie: his wife was very attractive.
He looked really crazy when he shot the mirror. I like that part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
ridiculous.
Two cool
two cool practical effects: the opening
That's
kill
it,
and his
yeah.
sister's kill.
So I guess I was right to leave
Yeah.
to go see Eagle Eye.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, to be honest, like I'm gonna side with your friend here and say he was in the right.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you guys want to bring up the fact that he was in the movie.
Yeah, I kept
Cameron-
thinking about
Cameron
it the whole
Boyce
time.
was in the
Cameron
movie.
Bryce was in the movie, played the son.
Michael.
and-
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like the first thing we thought of. We're like, just R.I.P. Like
Yeah,
immediately,
yeah.
we're like, oh man, because he's a child. He's
That
like
he-
so
Yeah,
little. In his
that was
He-
like the start of his career, technically.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
died in 2019,
Hmm
and he looks exactly the same as when this movie came out.
That
Like,
kid did not age one bit. Like
No.
I think at the age of 20, he looked exactly the same, but with like stubble in his beard. That's
Yeah.
it.
I mainly remember him from what was it?
Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Jesse.
that's right.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jesse.
that's right. I recognize.
I've
him
never seen
too.
that, but I know what you guys talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I recognize him from him, and then Descendants, that one Disney movie too. He was in
Mm.
there.
Yes.
Uh huh.
So
He's got a
there's-
lot of Disney knowledge.
Of course.
We'll do Disney horror trivia next. All right, but I think that's going to be all for today's episode of
Yeah,
Midnight
it's
Mayhem.
perfect.
Very short
Mhm.
episode.
Cool.
Glad you watched, glad you listened, and we will see you guys again on the next video.
Yes, guys.
Bye.
All
Thank you
right,
for
bye.
watching.
Love you. Love you.